Okay, folks, just taking a pause for a few seconds here because I want to thank Sonia Vaughn for becoming my first ever member to my channel. Isn't this wonderful, isn't it? It is immensely appreciated, and her name will be forever immortalized in the scroll at the end of all videos from now on. All the best and back to it. Okay, folks, right now, new one again, 10 inches across, 8 inches high, and toned with a little bit of oxide red. And I'm just going again, little one from imagination, as it were. Now, when I say imagination, what I mean is that, well, today and yesterday, just sitting looking at photographs and forming a bit of an idea. And so I'm just going to lay down, first of all, I'm just going to lay down some colours. This is already toned, so I'm going to lay down some light colours. Here and there, just for I'm using some liquid fine detail and just getting down the ideas here of just things. Let me see. That's all the plan is here, folks. Just to get the canvas covered to begin with. Thin layers of paint brought on by just mixing it with some liquid fine detail. Now I'm basically just covering this up. Let me see. The brush that I'm using is a little bit rough. It was a filbert brush, but I think we're just going to change it a little bit softer. It's scraping it as well as other things, you know, it's scraping it. So let's just get the idea of things down here. That was a little spinning trick there with my brush. Okay. Now, what I'm after here is just lots of little different pockets of colours and variations, and trying not to be repetitive and all of that. You know, just all right, just let's leave that there. Let's work this in a little bit. Okay. Now, let's add a little bit more. Let me see. Let me see. Nowhere away. A little bit of red in this. Just wanting to create the idea of some distant mountains here, just up in here. I don't know if that's blue enough, grey enough. But let me see. I think, well, it's okay. You know, it's not exactly where I want it. A little bit of green in it, here and there. Using the viscosity of the, or thinning the viscosity of the paint here with some mineral spirits. Now, you see I'm just using the old paint that's been laid down here, just to create a mist and a fog off in the distance, giving me the idea, and hopefully the viewer the idea, that it's off, way off here somewhere. Now I'm going to put a few things in, a bit of a tree here. Actually, you know what, maybe another bit of a tree there, a bit of a double tree. And bring this up. Give myself a large-ish tree along here. Give myself the idea of some water coming down here. All right, now let me just continue with my messing about. I'll have another go at that tree. I don't want to wipe off too much because I want to use the surrounding sky to help with the texture of the tree. So, just bringing it down to the base here. That's why you see I'm not entirely covering everything up. Trying to give you the impression of a distant mountain here, lost in the fog. Just some distant blues here and there, distant colors, distant tones. Alright, I'm going to lay down the tree, the main tree here. Actually, I'm going to do both of them. Excuse me a second here. Okay, I'm just going to lay in this tree here and these couple here and see where we are to begin with. So a nice green. Give myself some phthalo there, a nice dark green. So, and rich. So there's some phthalo with some oxide red. A little bit more. Now the tiniest bit of mineral spirits and the tiniest bit of liquid fine detail there. Okay. As I'm coming up to the top here, I don't want too dark of areas, so I'm just going to slightly lighten it. Just slightly. You'll see the difference. Now, just softening everything out around these edges here. And of course, we will get the chances of fixing all of this later. Right, so a nice dark, another nice dark green, but not so saturated, so I'm putting a little bit of raw umber in it here, and tiniest bit of sky in it. Just it's slightly back, so a little bit of atmosphere here. Okay, Nah, a little bit broader than that maybe. It looks a bit thin, doesn't it? A bit anemic for a tree. Alright, okay, a bit straight edged, but we'll fix that a little bit later. Another one along here. Not exactly the same type of shape, the same type of tree, but along there. Okay. I'm just laying down the ideas that I have, that's all I'm doing. Just trying to create the idea that there's distance going on in this one. Just some distance. Now, I'll get another brush actually. I'm going to use this green. I'm going to really grey it out with using some sky and some reds. Just to really grey out this green. I don't want it too saturated. So I'm just going to see here. Now, there's very little on the brush here. A bit brighter than that, maybe. Alright, okay. Not trying to cover up this entire area. Dancing not about, folks. Always trying to keep that texture. Or the idea of the texture anyway. It is important, or else it all just looks flat. Now, there's nothing wrong at times with going with a composition where you have cultivated grass, grass that have been grown here and there. Nothing wrong with that at all. Now what I'm going to do is, I want to create a little bit more of the background in this. I think I've covered it up a touch too much. Just bringing out some of that background in this. Alright, okay. Let me see now. I am trying my best here to really keep the idea of different grasses, different shades of grass. Greys as well, spicely greys. And also trying to keep the idea of that background popping through all of it. Okay. No. I just need to work a little bit on the tree, on the base of the tree here. Let me see. I'm just thinking about this tree, and I think it's not exactly where I want it to be at the momento. But it's still early days, so I'm not going to fuss and huss over it at the minute. So I'm not. But it's most definitely in my mind. I'll be keeping it there until I've found a way to be happy with it. All right. No. I think I want the tree to be a bit rounder at the top here. So I'm going to just create the conditions for that to happen. Just bring it out a bit. Okay. Nice dark green again. He's just reshaping this tree and not being afraid of it. Now, whenever, of course, it's dried, I will be putting in all the branches and all the relevant areas, and we'll work on it between now and then as far as all of that's concerned too. Right, so let's just lay down a load of different tones here and there. Different tones and colours, and just for pure enjoyment purposes. And when I say enjoyment, I mean just looking at it and seeing it. Bit of interest. That type of thing. Bit of a pathway here, and then interacting with a little bit of water. You'll see this in a second. Just keeping this rough. I don't want to mess around with it here too much. Just trying to keep everything rough, folks. Rough and ready, as it were. And this will help reflect the sky. It's imperative that you keep remembering that you can always wipe everything off. I mean, if I didn't like this, the whole lot could come off. The whole shebang. So it could. The whole lot. So that must be something that that has to be something that you would keep in mind. Is that you always have the choice of taking it off. Very important. Now, you don't want to be doing that. Of course you don't. It would hurt. You've done student, you've done all this. But at the same time, if you're not happy with it, just get rid of it. All right, okay. At least for now, let me just move into bringing in some green into this area here. All right, okay. Just let that run in for now. And as always, just dancing it around, trying to create some life in it. Just a nice soft brush with a bit of darkness on it. Just for creating some tones, little divots here and there and what have you. Okay, no. A little bit of kitchen roll, folks. Right, let's just remove some of this. This will help create some texture in here too. Yeah, dancing that around, folks. Creating the idea is what I'm trying to tell you. Now you can already see the distance that's going on here. And I think as far as a background is done, I think that this, maybe just do this for now. Just lightening some areas here. Okay. I'm just, what am I trying to do now, folks? What am I thinking of here? I think I'll work a little bit into the tree while it's wet with the colors that I have. Let me see, lovely. Just breaking this tree up a little bit around the edges for now. We'll do a better job of it. This is just to give me the impression of whatever I want to do later. Just roughen the edges up of this tree a bit. Is all. Okay. I'm not sure it made much of a difference, much of a muchness. I think it was, but at least I worked the edges of it, so I did. And just while I'm at it, I'm going to add a few little darker areas, a few little trees off in the distance. A bit darker than that, I think. A bit more green in it. Okay. Let's bring it down a touch. I want to bring these down. I was kind of wondering about my levels and my distances there. And these trees themselves are a bit too high. So I'm just going to drop that down a touch just while I'm here. Bring them down into this area here a touch. You see, that brings them forward just a little bit there. And I might not do too much with the way that has landed. Yeah, that's nice. And now, but a little very small filbert brush, if I can find it. There it is. I'm just going to mark for some tree trunks here. And I see them in here. You can barely see that, but I'm just marking for them, not painting them out here. Okay. No. I'm just drying off this brush a little bit and then scraping the rest of it off. Lovely. Okay. Now we'll come back to this whenever it has dried a little bit, and that should do for the time being. I'll see you all soon enough. Bye for now. Oh, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all when I come back to do this. Bye for now. Alrighty, folks, let's delve back into this one. Now, this tree here, I'm not happy with it. Not happy with it at all. So let's get it fixed. Right, so mainly today it will be liquid, fine detail, maybe use some spirits a little bit later on, but for now, liquid fine detail. Alright, now I'm just going to work in a little bit of grey sky here into this tree. Oh, goodness me, way too much. I'll do it a little bit later to grey things out. Just leave that little patch there. If you make a mistake, leave it somewhere, and maybe you can use it later to grey things out and for whatnot. You don't have to immediately get rid of it, but look at that. That's an exact tonal match. Isn't that lovely? Well done. To me, even if I say so myself. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring this down a bit. I'm not happy with the overall shape of this thing. Which is fine. You just do things like this, and it'll help. It'll help me later cover this up. Bop-a-dee-doo-doo. Okay. For now, anyway, we'll just let it be for now. Right, so I'm going to put a little bit of a tree in the background here, just behind this, just to give it a slight sense of separation from this to the background. Okay, so I'm going to get myself a nice, really grayed out green. Ba-ba-dee-boo. Ba-da-da-boo-da-boo-da-boo. Okay, too nice and dark, folks, and cold as well. There's a coolness about this one today. Let me just put this in here, but no, a bit brighter than that, as if the mist is hitting it. Alright, okay. Off in the background here. Probably a bit bluer, folks, a bit bluer. Very nice, okay. Now that looks like it's in behind the tree there, at least for now it does. Now, I'm going to work a little bit on these trees over here. Just the center of them, and I want to darken them down a bit. A little bit of raw umber, a little bit of black, a little bit of oxide red, and some phthalo green. And a bit of a glaze, just to darken it down a touch. Very good. Very good. Very good. Now, while I have the... well, I was going to say while I have the colour of the sky down, I'll do a few things, but I just went and ruined the colour of the sky. Which is fine. It's fine, it's fine. Sometimes you get pieces that are a little bit more difficult than others. Sometimes your eye just isn't in it. And well, that's all part of it, you know. I wouldn't get myself too worked up about those things. Just let those types of days be what those types of days are. Just days that just doesn't entirely work for you. And I think that we're getting there, little bits at a time. Right, so now. A little bit darker and a little bit bluer again on this part. I don't want to completely fixate on it because it's okay, but I don't want to just leave it for the sake of leaving it either. There's always that, you know. Right, so another soft brush. Now all I'm using here is wee cheap Da Vinci brushes. These are FIT, Fit Synthetics, and this one's a size 4, and it's old, and all the bristles are splayed. And just a greyed out blue here, with a little bit of liquid on it. And taking a good bit off the brush, all I'm going to do is, not happy with that. No, I'm going to put a little bit of green in it. Okay, alright, now I'm working that up into it. That's good. I'm going to soften it off a little bit. Soften it up a little bit. Let that fade into the hill there. Very nice. Now I'm going to... I'm actually just going to take a memento here. Let me see. What are we? Alright, so give myself another dark. This is quite a misty painting, so I'm just going to give myself a bit of a blue here and work it into this tree along here. Okay. Very nice, coming along rightly. Nope, don't like that. Spoke too soon. Okay, a little bit of a darker take on that one. Dancing that brush around, trying to create the idea of foliage. Very good. Very nice. Coming along. A bit brighter down the side of it, just to create the idea that the light is hitting it. Let me see. Right, okay. Just going to wipe a little bit off. Actually, no, I'll use a new brush for this. Okay, so. Now I'm trying not to brush this on. What my idea here is to just dab it on, creating textures, as always. Creating textures creates interest. Lots of little things for you to look at whenever you're standing in front of the paint, and you get to see lots of little things here and there. Now, and then you change it up, you know. You get to change it up and you get to play a little. Okay. Now, if I was to brush all this on, it would just blend in. So I'm just dabbing it on. Well, hopefully you can see that, you know. Okay, now I'm just going to work a little along this side here, create a rock or two. Nice light violet is what I'm after here, and I will use the colors on the palette to grey it out a little bit of green to grey out that violet. I've grayed it out a little bit too much. So I'm creating a new pair. There we go. That's not bad. That's not bad at all now. Just to create the odd wee rock here and there, you know. Something that just pops up. And also just for the sheer fact of creating some color, adding a bit of difference to it, and then just highlight this. If I can get myself a bit of kitchen roll, clean off the brush a little bit. Yeah, just add a little bit of a lighter color, a little bit of a brightness to it, and just take it along the tops of these things as if the light's just hitting it. Creating that three-dimensional idea. Now what I think is going to happen, I'm going to try and put on the branches here. What I will do is I'll put the center of this in to begin with. Of the tree is what I'm talking about. Just put in the center foliage, and I'll probably wait. Until it has dried before I try and do the outer edges of it, the outer foliage. Now I'm almost certain that this is a bit too A bit too dark. Or sorry, not too dark, too bright is what I think. I think this is a bit too bright, but we'll see. I'm going to use all these colors here to really grey this out. Let me just see here. You know, it's not too bad, you know, it's close to it, so it is. I'll just darken it a little bit with what's on the palette. I can always come along and lighten it a little bit here and there. Oh, we're changing tones anyway. A lot of what you do here is just changing the tones of things. So you don't want it too bright, it'll sit out like a sore thumb. Now, what I'm going to do, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not great, but I'm getting there. And I am thinking that I'll probably leave it until it is dried, and then I'll create the edges. But I'm just going to put in a little bit of a cold dark base in this. So a little bit of phthalo, a little bit of ultramarine blue, some raw umber actually. Yes, indeed. Really knock the saturation out of that green. And then some liquid. And let me just see, is that, yeah, I think it's okay. And we're just going to create a bit of a darker areas here and there. Okay, not everywhere, just here and there. No, I'm still in two minds about this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a go with the idea of stopping. I want the idea of it, because it's wet, I certainly want the idea of it breaking into this here, and because it's wet, it will help it fade into it, giving you that sense of a mistiness around the foliage. Like, that's the plan, folks. Whether that works or not is something different entirely. Like, sometimes I joke, you know, I mess about, but you know, you kind of, you know what you're doing here. You know how it's going to work for the most part. Now, because I am what you would call blending on the canvas here, that the sky is wet and I'm blending the colors on the canvas. You have to be aware of that on the palette, that if you make it too light here, it'll be too light there because it's blending with the sky. So you make it a little bit darker here to compensate for that. That's all. Very good, very good. Don't want to be pernickety either, you know. I'm not that keen on being that pernickety with things, you know. No, it's actually working out better than I thought it was going to. A bit better, but I think this is a bit bright at the minute. We'll see. We'll see. Get that worked in at least anyway. Alright, okay. A bit darker up around here, actually. Right, now, I'm going to, these trees that I put in, I don't like them. I'm going to cover them up. The tree trunks, I don't like them. So this is more of a painting rather than a glazing. Tiniest bit of liquid on it just to help it dry. So as I say, it's more of this is a painting, not a glazing, so I'm just covering these tree trunks up here. Alright, now let's just work that in a little bit. Okay, I think what I'm doing here is I'm being too finicky, and it's beginning to slightly annoy me, I must say. So enough of this. Let's get some of this in here. Right, so you know, sometimes you can just spend so much time on things, you end up getting nothing done. A little bit more red. Nope. Bit more silhouette-y than that. I'm just going to work on this one over here now. There's still a good bit here to do on this. I still have to work on the water. But everything else is coming into play, I think. So, let me see now. Too thick. Bit better. Just bit better. Okay, a few darker patches on this tree actually. You don't have to be jet black, you know, just slightly darker areas to help those highlights pop a bit. Alright. And right now, let's focus on down here. So let me just see where he is here. Yeah, a little bit darker. All right, now we're into the reflections here now of this. I have to say there isn't much left to do, so there isn't. A little bit, but not much left to do. I would like for there to be maybe more grasses. Nah, bit brighter than that one. Bit brighter than that. Let me see here. Ba, 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 ba. And then let's just work that in. Just taking the paint off this brush and then just working this in here. Get that to fade up a little bit. Lovely. Lovely. Nope, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to. Right, now there was something I had in my mind there and I didn't speak it out loud to myself and now I can't think of what it was. Something to do. I can't see it in my head, but hopefully it'll come back to me. Just kind of reshaping this tree just a little bit. Now, what was it? Oh yes, some verticals in it. Some verticals, for sure. All I mean is that just a few sticks popping up here and there to give the impression of everything is going in one direction. Now I'm going to give it a little bit of another direction. Like little blades of grass, big thick blades of grass, you know. Or posts, whichever you decide you want them to be, that's what they'll be. You choose. Not too many of them though, because all of a sudden the vertical becomes the paint instead of the horizontal. No, I'm just throwing it in for a little bit of a difference of here and there. Right now, I just add a little bit more in the corner here, and maybe that'll be it. But I'm unsure, and we'll see. Just here. Bit too bright. No. Look at that. All right, now let me just see where we are here. What do I think of this? I think we're getting there. Just a little rock or two here and there just to help sell the idea. Off in the distance, folks, you know. Creating some textures in this thing. Now, I hope I haven't gone too far. I'm kind of looking at things that it could be a bit busy. I think it is a bit busy, you know. Right, so it's a very, 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 very easy fix. You just grab one or two of these roxes, and you just cover them up. Look at that. Didn't even know they were there. Yeah, I think it just... I think I found myself getting a little carried away with myself. Okay. Now a bit of a glaze in here. Just want to darken a little bit of an area here. Take a good bit off the brush. Give that like a sense of the hill stepping down a bit. And a wee one up along here, folks, just here. Just bring this one across a touch. Like there's a bit of a ridge there, you know, that's nice, actually. So. Yeah. Still feel the need to work on it a little bit. Don't feel like I'm entirely done yet. Feels that it could be doing with a little bit more, you know. And we'll just darken the base of this here. I'm just bringing this down a bit. Letting that fade in a little bit, as if the foliage is there, just hard to see because of the conditions of the day. That's all. I'm just checking that I'm happy with the outer edges here. I think I'm okay. Right, okay. It's funny, isn't it? There are days when it's just in your mind and it's playing games with you. And I feel that today is one of those days that I'm being tricked and messed about. Let me see, it's not so bad. Alright, okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to soften that a little touch, just give it a bit of a once over with a brush here, and then I think that will do me. I'll put a couple of birds in it this time. I don't normally put birds in it, but I'm going to today. I don't know why. See, it's funny. See, I don't normally do that, but today the mood says, go ahead and do it. Bit of a silhouette-y thing. Just here. Another one here. It's very hard for you to see, I suppose, isn't it? You'll see the one in the photograph. All right, 5 will do, huh? And yeah, that's it. Okay. Right, that'll do for now. Maybe you'll come back to this one, but if not, thank you for watching, and like and subscribe and all of that, and I'll see you all soon enough. So of course, bye for now, and enjoy everything else. All the best. Bye.